This will be Tuesday, September 9th. No, September 2nd. 9 is the month. It's been a long month already. All 2 days of it. We're going to get into similes and metaphors and learnification and stuff like that. Those of you playing the home game, there's the information for you to help you out. From the first screen, you had to make an entry. This goes in your table of contents on the bellwork side. Blah, blah, blah. Words. This will be the information you have to write down. I'm going to move it on in just a moment. So if you're at home, that's where you want to play pause. And then you can write that information down. You're going to do 2 examples of a simile, 2 examples of metaphor, do the definitions, stuff that's going to be up there. For the rest of us, we're going to move on. Yeah. Mr. BroviTalk, I spent all that time not working. I know, isn't that awful? And now I've moved on. So, to help the rest of you, I'm going to have you go down just a little bit on that same page, and we are going to write down a few notes to help you out. For those of you who are having issues with your similes and metaphors, I'm going to try and help you by showing you like the biggest mistakes people make. We're going to make sure that yours aren't following these same things. And then we're going to have several people give examples of what they have, or examples of really bad ones. We'll find out. It'll be sort of enjoyable if we get to find out who we get to make fun of. And I certainly know who's volunteering to go first. So as we'll take a look at it here. First off, when you're doing it and comparing them, you have to compare 2 nouns. So that's the first big thing I want you to write down. Make sure you're comparing 2 nouns. It cannot be a comparison of verbs and adjectives. A noun to a noun. Mr. BroviTalk, I don't know what nouns are. Then you're probably going to have a tough time. Nicely done. Good job, Sanko. Person, place, and thing. If you have no idea how verbs and adjectives and stuff like that work, it's not a problem. Next week we're going to be introducing our grammar stuff, which is Magic Lens. It's like a grammar roller coaster. It's a grammar coaster. And I'll be helping you then. Till then, you're just going to spend the next couple days crying until we can get you there. Because you can compare a boy and say, the boy runs like a cheetah, and you're comparing a boy to a cheetah. That's a noun to a noun. You cannot say the boy runs fast, because fast is an adjective. Excuse me. You can't say the boy is ugly, because ugly is an adjective. You can say the boy is an ugly pile of puke, because that would work, because you're comparing him to a pile of puke, and that's a noun. So make sure you're comparing 2 nouns. The 2 nouns you compare cannot be the same thing. You have to compare a noun to a different noun. I don't understand. Let me give you an example. Garfield. You cannot say Garfield eats like a cat, because Garfield is a cat. So you can't compare him to something he already is. You can't say your shirt is a pile of cloth, because your shirt is made out of cloth. So it has to be something that it can't normally be. You can't say, when Sanko talks, she loses points. Wait, we can, because that's going to happen.
Wait, but you don't have your little candy clipboard.
Fine, Mr. BroviTalk, it doesn't feel real. There, now it's happening. We got to bond. We feel closer already. I had a kid earlier say, when I tripped, the ground felt like the floor. He said the ground was as hard as the floor. And I'm like, that's the same thing. He's like, nuh-uh, 2 different words. Yes, they are. They're called synonyms. He's like, what? Like, 2 words, they mean the same thing. So you can't compare ground to floor. It's the same thing. My advanced class, we thought they were all special. Theirs was, when I jumped in, the water was as cold as ice. Sounds good. Problem is, where does ice come from?
Water.
So I'm like, that's what ice is. Really, really cold water. They're like, I'm like, advanced kids. And so can't. Now, usually when you're comparing a person or trying to attack a person, because oftentimes you guys will try to attack me because it entertains you, because you're not going to hurt my feelings. Be careful what you compare me to. You can't compare me to something I already am or could be. You can't say Mr. BroviTalk is like a teacher when he's in the class, because I am a teacher. No, because I don't learn anything. That's not my fault. That's your fault. So you can't compare me to a teacher. You can't compare me to a comedian, because as long as I can make you giggle once, then scored! I'm technically a comedian. Not a very good one, but qualifies as a comedian. Can I say Mr. BroviTalk is a monster? That's iffy, because as long as I show up in your dreams just one night and go, roar, and you run and scream, I'm a monster. So it goes back and forth. Make sure it's something I could not be. Just like I can't say, Trice hits like a football player. Because, for all we know, Trice is a football player. Mr. Robiak, I am on the football. See? So there you go. So if there's any chance that he could be, it would be the same thing. So if there's a chance of them being that, you can't make that comparison. It makes it much, much weaker. You can compare. Can I compare you to the devil? Sure. He's had the job longer than me, so that's fine. We're two different ones. Like a demon, that'd be different because there's never a chance I'm a demon. That's just like someone who's employed by him. And last, cannot use the word looks in a good similar metaphor because it makes it wussy and it makes it sound awful, and I'm going to call you a globetrotter if you do, because globetrotters are wussies and have issues. So if you start putting that in there, I'm like, oh, you globed that one up. You're like, oh, you turned it into a verb. So bad, that dog looks like an angry lion. That'd be bad. Instead, just take out the looks and replace it with is. And you have that dog is like an angry lion. That's much stronger. That's what I'm looking for you to do. Now I think it's time to play the game. We're also going to introduce something called impact learning today. Gesundheit. Gesundheit. Impact learning, anytime that you make a mistake, it is going to have an impact on everyone in the room, so that everyone will become invested in your learning. Mr. Robiak, don't worry. When someone makes a mistake, I will introduce to you how impact learning will impact everyone. It'll be okay. Keeper has volunteered to go first. I'm very proud of him, Keeper. Nicely done. The way Keeper is going to do is he's going to pick any one of the 4 similes and or metaphors he wrote down. Mr. Robiak, I don't have anything written down. Well, in that case, you just pick like a random sentence, and it's definitely going to make it slightly more challenging. Now, I understand that metaphors are tougher for a lot of you guys than similes. That you're able to do a simile. His eyes are like blueberries. That's wonderful. That's a simile. To make it a metaphor, write a simile and then remove the like or as. His eyes are blueberries. Metaphor. Simple as that. So you're just saying one thing is the other. So in your mind, do a simile, remove the like or as. Now, have a reason for it. So if I say Bergman's shirt is a blueberry, I have to have a reason. Like, why am I comparing? Did you compare her shirt to a blueberry because you can eat them? No, that would be wrong. So have a reason for why you're connecting these two things. All right, so Keeper, you're going to read any one of your 4, however scary they might be. Sanko's volunteered to be the first one to figure out what it's going to be. Here's how the game is played. Sanko is going to tell us whether it's a simile or a metaphor, or none of the above. Because if it's just a random sentence, you have to go, Mr. Broviak, that's none of the above, because they done messed that up, yo. And be able to tell me what it is. Then, tell me what 2 things are being compared. You're comparing her shirt to a blueberry. Then, you have to tell me why we're comparing them. Because they're blue. Then, when you read your own, you have to read the opposite of what gets read to you.
Wait, what?
And that's it. So if he reads a simile, she has to read a
Metaphor.
If he gets a metaphor, she has to read a I know. Isn't that awful? I feel so... Wait, I couldn't even get through it. So what we're going to do from there... Now, by volunteering, of course, you realize by now it has nothing to do with you raising your hand. It all has everything to do with just my heart and knowing who's supposed to go next, or who's going to have the most trouble with it, and that's who I'm going to call on, because that helps everyone learn, and we get to bond. Don't worry, Addie Jackson will be going after you, so we're going to help her out in a moment. Yeah, definitely. Ask me to go after you. All right. So, Keeper, you get your choice of which... Hang on. Did you have a question, Trace?
Yeah, well, like, a sentence would sound weird if, like, you had a sentence and you just wrote it like that.
Well, you might have to reword it a little bit, yes. You can't always just, like, slash it out. Sometimes you have to, like, move the words around a little bit. But we can always try to help you. If you worst case, mess it up, and we'll help guide you in the right direction. Heart, love. Keeper!
Cats are like a fog creeping onto a town.
Cats are like a fog. I shortened it. Yours is much prettier, but cats are like a fog.
It's
And
a
simile,
simile.
metaphor, none of the above. Which one?
It's a simile because it has R in it.
It is a simile,
Wait, no.
but not because of R.
Wait, say it again.
Cats are like a
Oh,
fog.
like.
Good. Yes, it's like R, but different. Comparing what 2 things?
A cat.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember the other
Cats are like a fog.
one. Fog.
Good job. And why are we comparing them? Cats are like a fog creeping up on the town.
Because they're creepy.
enough for me. Nicely done, Seiko. So now you're going to read yours to Addie Jack. Let's see how well she does. Don't you cheat and look out for paper.
I don't have a metaphor.
I know.
So do I help?
So once we get there, go ahead and stand until we get there. We're gonna help. Standing helps you think.
I don't.
Wait, you need motivation. I got you.
No. Okay. Wait, so do I have to stand?
Higher,
Wait.
higher,
do I have to-
higher, higher. Go ahead. There you go. Now, do you have a simile?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna.
I'm not giving you a simile. Back down, Tiger. And then you're going to go ahead, and for your simile, you're going to change it into a metaphor.
Fish are swimming birds.
Fish are swimming birds. Nicely done. Now, once you get that written down for your metaphor, then you can have a seat. You have to write it first. Fish are swimming birds.
Metaphor.
Metaphor. I don't know how you saw that coming. Nicely done. Comparing what two things?
Fish and bird.
Good job. And what do they have in common? Yeah, I know. It's scary. You have to get inside Senko's head. Why is she comparing fish? You can't give her the answer.
They're animals?
Neither one is an animal. Actually, one's a bird, one's a fish. But other than that, you're dead on. What is it that birds do that fish also do in the water?
I don't know. Drink? Fly.
That's the same way they move. But sure.
Fly. They can go soaring in the water. There's flyfish.
Oh, that's
Swim?
sure. Addie Jack, let's go ahead and have you go for Thomas.
Can I sit down?
Did you get it written down?
Yeah.
Go for it now.
Where's Thomas?
Isn't there flying fish?
Big Thomas. Dude, don't
They're
fly.
walking fish.
Thomas is over there.
You said, like, why is Thomas?
But now that I know your names, I don't have to look at the kid I'm calling on anymore.
Did I?
Now,
It's like a flying word. But I
just let them go. It's okay. They'll figure it out. Now that we've gotten far enough into it, I no longer have to look at the kid I'm calling on. So now, because I realize if I look this way, all the kids over here think I'm not going to call on them. If I look in this way, all the kids over here go, oh, now I'm safe. So now I can look over here and go, Thomas, you're next. And that way it messes with the two people at once, because then Colin's like, I'm not Thomas. And Thomas is like, he has my name. And so that way it makes things much easier. So you have to go off of who I'm saying. Got it? All right, good. Thomas, ready? See, even knowing it's coming, it still messes with you. So much fun. So Thomas, she's going to read one to you. Andy Jack, you're reading yours now. It's your turn to mess up.
Spider-Man is like a gorilla?
Spider-Man is like a gorilla.
That's a simile.
Using what word?
Spider-Man and gorilla.
And what word makes it a simile? Good job. Comparing what two things?
Spider-Man and gorilla.
And what do they have in common? It's okay to be scared. Just come up with some reason why she would compare the two of them.
They can both swim.
Sure, they can both. Although, yeah, monkeys swing, not gorillas, but that's fine. Whatever. I'm not judging you
Oh, I got
on
it.
that
I
one.
got one.
It's fascinating. All right, Thomas. So now you get to read yours out loud for Bella.
What?
Hi, Bella. She's gonna read out loud to you.
Ryan is a slow turtle.
Ryan is a slow turtle.
It's a metaphor.
Comparing what two things? Ryan is a slow turtle.
Comparing Ryan and a turtle.
And what they have in common, they are both
Slow.
nicely done. Bella, let's have you read yours for Carson.
Oh. She didn't say one.
What?
Carson.
But she didn't say like why.
Why not get called one?
She didn't. They're both slow.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Go for it, Bella.
My dog is like a cat.
The dog is like a cat.
My dog.
My dog is like a cat. Simile, metaphor, none of the above.
Oh, simile.
Good job. Using what word to make it a simile?
Like,
Good job. Comparing what two things?
her dog and a cat.
And any idea why we would compare her dog to a cat? What could they have in common?
Because her dog is probably little and scared of everything.
Works for me. Nice one. Carson! You're going to go first for the next round of the game. We're going to move on from here. We're going to come back to the next round in just a moment. So hold on to the fact that you get to go first. It's okay to be excited. Turn back to your table of contents. We're going to make another entry in there. Before we run out of time, I want to make sure I gave you time for the homework.
Is homework or
Homework is easy. It's going to take you all about 5 minutes. And when is the homework due?
tomorrow?
I have no idea. idea. If only there were a calendar in front of you that you could look at. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I know, that's why I said it.
I don't know.
In your table of contents, this goes on the homework side. Which side is the homework side?
Left.
The left-hand side. So this is entry number 3 on the left-hand side. Should go right below where you put,
Small world notes.
thank you, small world notes. I couldn't get class names out of my head. So this is on that side. Should be number 3. For most of you, what page number is it going to be?
5.
5.
Oh.
Unless you messed yours up, or unless you used more than one page for your small world notes. For everyone else, it should be page 5. And once you've made that entry, then turn to page 5, so I can tell you what you're going to have to actually write down,
Wait,
because you don't have to write all of this down.
I don't.
Wriggles? Know how to raise your hand? I know, I figured that out.
If our small world notes are on to
Page 5.
do we go to 7?
That's good.
So will I be off the rest of you?
Because I'm not always going to do the page number. So after the first couple of them, I'm not even going to say page numbers, because everyone eventually gets off the different pages. Yes, Will?
What about the title?
The title?
I saw that.
Me too.
Just making sure.
That's good. No, we're helping the kids at home. It's very nice of you. Someone has to help those kids. They're slow. Try.
Can I be up to first?
We'll find out. Not there yet.
Yeah, and also.
So the big picture. Addie Jack?
In King Kong, he can sing.
No.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
Yeah, he swung off the building. He was like,
Oh, he swung around
that's
a little antenna.
called
he
climbing.
grabbed the thing and then he was like swinging around it and like kicking planes and stuff.
Yeah, totes.
What?
What you're going to do for this one, you don't have to write down all of it. The first thing I want you to make sure you write down is the website. So we know it's not spelled with a C, that there's just a K up there, so that you can go to the right webpage. So you're going to have to go to MrBroviak.com to do the homework, because there's a file on there you have to download. It's got a bunch of pictures on it. So you're going to go to MrBroviak.com, go to the homework part, and there's a part that says homework. It's at the top of the thing. You just click on it. It is going to come up with a little homework file. Go to the one that says big picture files, and you click on it. When you click on it, this thing will come up again along with several pictures. What you're going to have to do is pick one of the pictures on that list, and then you're going to write 3 similes and 3 metaphors. So first thing I want you to write down is my website, so you know where to go. Then write down 3 similes, 3 metaphors, because you're going to find one picture and write 3 similes and 3 metaphors, so that you remember that you're going to write 3 similes, 3 metaphors. The last thing I want you to write down is when it's due. And when's it due?
Thursday.
Thursday, as it says right there, due Thursday. So those are the things I want you to write down. What you're going to just find a picture. It's really easy. There's 7 pictures. Pick one of the 7 pictures to write your 6 things about. And if there was a picture of a guy skiing, there's not, because that's boring. All my pictures are awesome. But if there was a guy skiing, you could say, the guy's skis are toothpicks on his feet. Bam! One metaphor. The snow is sugar on the ground. Bam! The clouds are cotton balls floating in the sky. Bam! And you just sort of go through there, and quickly as you can write down 3 similes, 3 metaphors, you're done. So for most of you, 5 minutes. For those of you who get easily distracted, 15 minutes. With 10 minutes just sort of staring out the window. Or 10 minutes trying to pick the picture because they're all awesome. You're like, that one's awesome, and that one's awesome. I just don't know which one. So you can do like 6 about both if you want, but you have to do 3 similes, 3 metaphors, all about the same picture. La.
What if you don't have internet access?
Then have your parents email me and tell me that.
How do they
Wait,
keep-
Exactly. See how it works out? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Do you write it on a separate sheet of paper?
Nope, you write it right there.
No,
Write it right there. Good stuff. And if you don't have internet, you just have to bring in a note from your parents saying that, and then I'll print the picture off for you. Oh, Mr. Broviak, you always win. I know, that's why I love me. Now, so we did that to there to, oh, let's play now the next level of our game.
level 2. The best level. Is it gonna get harder?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm already done. You don't know that.
Well, doesn't mean I'm not coming back to you.
Dude, but
Goodness
then
gracious.
don't you have to go to everyone first?
No.
But then that's not fair to the other kids who maybe want to.
Yeah.
You talk a lot.
She does. That's why she doesn't keep losing points. It'll be a fun game. What's important is that I win in the end. For here, instead of you guys coming up with the similes, metaphors, or none of the above, I have similes, metaphors, and none of the above written up here. I'm going to have you read the line and then tell me if you think it is a simile, a metaphor, or none of the above. And then, what things are being compared, if it's a simile or a metaphor. Pretty easy stuff, for the most part, till you mess up. Trice! We'll let you begin. The first one says, I know, what, yeah. Oh yeah, Carson! We'll let you for this one first. That was very brave of you. Carson! That silly clown has hair like a rainbow. So you have to tell me, is that a simile, metaphor, or none of the above?
Simile,
Simile, using what word?
like,
Good job. Comparing what two nouns?
a clown, or hair and a rainbow.
Nicely done. And why are we comparing the hair to a rainbow? They are both
Colorful.
nicely done. Kid in third period said they're both hairy. I was like, no, you've never seen a rainbow? Trice! Now I get to pick on you. His nose is a large red tomato.
Metaphor?
That's a metaphor? Is that a simile and a metaphor? Or did you say metaphor? Metaphor. Nicely done. Comparing what two nouns?
Large and tomato.
So you said compare what? I didn't hear. What was that?
Large and, no, nose and tomato.
Oh, so close. Nose and tomato. Good catch. I was going to get you on that one. And what they have in common? They are both.
Big.
And what color?
Red.
Worship. Nicely. Very great. Izzy! Our next one. His feet are small, flat-bottomed boats.
So they're
Now, a couple things. One, be confident with your answer. The worst that can happen is that you're wrong. So it's not like I get to beat you. That doesn't start until next week.
There's two.
I know. That means we're going to get to the next one in a moment. For those people who want to work ahead, in case I'm going to call on you, I figure you can go ahead and look at that one and try to think, see if you know what the answer is. You ready to guess, Izzy?
Yeah.
Good, me too. What do you want to go with?
Metaphor.
Is correct. Comparing what two things?
Feet and flat bottom.
Are you asking me? I need confidence.
Feet and boats.
Nicely done. Feet and boats. If we're comparing your feet to a boat, what are we saying about the size of your feet?
Large.
Nicely. Wait, don't you ask me. What's the answer?
they're big.
Nicely done. No, Mr. Broviak, it's so small. I could read it right up. You're right. I'm comparing your feet to a small boat. A small boat is still bigger than you. So if I'm saying your foot is the size of a small boat, that's a very large foot. Mr. Broviak, my brain just broke. There's not much I can do to help you. Izzy,
I'm trying to like get my...
I'm proud of you. Next up, from there, his elbows are very large. Sure, Simpson. So you're saying it's not a simile or a metaphor? Oh, don't ask me. I'm not saying you were wrong. I need confidence, Simpson. Metaphor, that's what you want to go with? Metaphor is incorrect! Not a metaphor! This is the first part of impact learning. When you make a mistake, it impacts everything. Now, I didn't. Normally, I get to hit it much better, but I hit just the edge of it, so I apologize. Next time we have a mistake, it'll be much better for you. It's not a metaphor because it's not comparing two nouns. Because we're comparing elbows to large. Large is not a noun. What is large? Adjective. So, what's the answer going to be, Simpson? Is correct. But Mr. Broviak, that was my first answer. I know, and you let me talk you out of it. Why would you let me do that? Because you're horrible. Yes, I am. His face is pale, eerie white snow. Wriggles! Now the problem is, as soon as you cover your ears, that means you're volunteering to give the next one, because that means you don't trust the other kids and you think you're smarter than them. So anytime I see someone with their ears covered and we do impact learning, that's your way of saying that you're wanting to go. I know, isn't it the best thing ever? Wriggles! Thanks for volunteering to go next. So Jake, you have no faith in her at all? What's the answer, Jake? He got to tag in. Normally I keep picking on you, but he had his ears covered. I know. Don't worry, we'll come back to you. Still you.
Oh, metaphor.
Metaphor. Why do you say it's a metaphor?
Because there is no is or like or. Yeah. Oh, I mean there's no like.
Good job. I mean as. It's like is, that's spelled differently. Good job. Nice one. That is a metaphor. Comparing what two things?
His face is snow,
And what do they have in common? They are both
pale and white.
nicely done. Good job, Jake. I can see why you had no faith in him. The funny clown is surrounded by animals everywhere. Sure, Will.
It is a
Ruh-roh. Go for it.
A metaphor.
Metaphor. And where do you see the... I thought you were getting ready to cover your ears. I was getting ready to call on you to say, because whether he's wrong or right, as soon as you cover your ears, it means you're calling. Are you calling? Oh. Sorry, I get confused easily. No, the girl in front of you. Leighton, are you calling him a liar?
No, I'm just kidding.
Mr. Brovey, I thought you were born yesterday. I wasn't. I was born 2 days before. Like, as soon as you rest your hands like this, too, that also means you're volunteering because you're keeping your... I'm just letting you know that I'm smarter than you. Will, what were you committing to? I didn't hear.
What do you mean, like,
What was your answer?
I did metaphor.
Metaphor! You guys get jumpy every time I repeat what he's saying. Metaphor, correct?
Yes,
Good job.
metaphor.
Not a metaphor. Why didn't you guys feel strong? You doubted him. The funny clown is surrounded by animals everywhere. Not a metaphor. Not comparing two things, just making a statement, the fact that you have the guy and there's stuff around him.
That's a good one.
Next up,
It's more scary than expected.
the evil clown likes strawberry mint ice cream. Allie G,
I know this one.
are you asking me?
Be
No.
confident.
Be confident.
Felicia.
Simile. Kiefer, why are you calling her a liar? It says like right there.
Good. No, never mind.
So she's good now. Are you calling her a liar, Suleiman?
No, she's a liar.
Why?
Because it's not a sin that it's a
Is none? Is that what you said?
What's none?
I'm just making sure, but you said it's none, right? Jake,
That's none.
are you saying you're saying it's none?
No,
Yes.
I know.
Why none? It says like.
Because like it's saying it's like a it's
Strawberry and ice cream.
It's correct. Good job, Jake. It is none. That is a tricky one, or I just threw like in there because it's being used as a verb. Saying the clown likes ice cream. Nicely done.
They're both food.
They are. No, you can't eat clowns. It's weird.
Wait, no, the ice cream. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're comparing clowns.
Those people are like sardines packed into that tiny vehicle. Jaden! Remember, the worst that happens is that you're wrong.
Be confident.
It's a simile using what word? It's correct. Good job. Comparing what two things?
Say it again.
Those people are like sardines packed into that tiny vehicle.
Those people in sardines.
Nicely done. Why are we comparing people that are in something like to sardines?
Because they're packed together.
Nicely done, Jaden. Go you. The pie's creamy frosting is like glue on his eyes. Leighton?
Oh.
I know, it's so much fun.
Simile.
What was that?
Simile.
I didn't hear what you said, sorry.
Simile.
Simile? Is correct, good job. If you know the answer, you can't get me to back you down. Proud of you, Leighton. Nicely done. It's a simile using what word?
Like
Comparing what two things?
ice cream and frosting in his eyes.
Close, not frosting and eyes. We're comparing the frosting to something.
Glue.
Nicely done, you are correct. Why are we comparing the frosting to glue? They are both.
White.
Works for me. When he juggles, his arms are a whirlwind. Alexis?
How do you? Metaphor?
Are you asking me? No. What's the answer?
Metaphor.
Is correct. Comparing what two things?
When his arms and whirlwind.
And when he juggles and his arms move, how is that like a whirlwind? What is similar? How
His
are
arms.
they moving? How's a whirlwind move? Yes, use your Leighton. Nicely done. In a
At
circle.
this time, we need all 7th grade girls volleyball players to report to room E103. 7th grade girls volleyball players, please report to room E103. Thank you.
Who's talking?
That's Mr. Timmons, the athletic director. Then we have one more part, but we'll wait till tomorrow to get to the next part. After there's the book report and the read aloud books, we'll get to more of our simile and metaphor stuff. Nicely done. You guys have gotten through our videotaping of class, which I get to use, and we've gotten through the introduction of impact learning. And when is the homework due?
Thursday.
When is your quiz?
Friday. Tomorrow.
Friday, you special children. Take off, Wriggles.